Hello, hello, hello. What is happening, family? So, how's it going? This is Reginald Martin, so of Kemetic Centered Living, and I am here tonight, and we're going to have interesting discussion, I think, and just talk about some ideas, and also talk about book. So, the new book I have coming out is "Cracking the Christ Code: The Egyptian Origins of Jesus." All right. So basically, in that book, I'm talking about where the idea of Jesus came from, because I'm one of those people that said Jesus never existed. But I know from my studies 100% with 100% certainty that he never did. Okay. So a lot of people, want to talk about that. But anyway, so what I do here is at Kemetic Centered Living is I help people who are deconverting from Christianity and the negative Christian programming. That's really the main thing, is the negative Christian programming. Because if a person wants to believe in Jesus and Jesus is working for them in their life, I say keep doing Jesus. Push the easy button, man. Do what's working for you. You know. But I know from experience that a lot of us that have lived the Christian life and did our best to do that, it wasn't a fun thing. Okay. And a lot of times we were miserable, but because everybody else around us was so miserable, we just thought that was normal. That was just a thing. He's sad, he's mad, he's upset, he's a sinner, hey, that's just normal. So I'm supposed to be like that too. No, it's not supposed to be like that. Okay. So you're not supposed to live life miserable. You're not supposed to live life feeling like you're something unworthy of even living, or unworthy of love, or unworthy of anything, because you are here and you are worthy. You are gods and goddesses in training, my family. Gods and goddesses in training. That's what you are. You're here to learn your superpowers. Okay. So basically, but that's what I do here. So I help you to get beyond those rigid Christian doctrines, and that's one of the things that my book is about. So I'm literally walking you through step by step. When I say I'm 100% certain that Jesus didn't exist, this is why, and the stuff that I'm walking you through in this book is why I know with 100% certainty. And I am going to step you through and help you build the case to why Jesus doesn't exist. But the idea is not just to bust somebody's belief, it's to help you to reconnect to the ancient ideas of what Christ is. Because from the ancient perspective, Jesus and Christ were two different things. Okay. And they were something that was natural and normal to everybody, not a special exception like we have been taught in the church. Okay. So I'm helping you to basically reclaim your own inner knowledge and divinity. All right. And part of that is what we're going to discuss tonight. Okay. So based on that. So but the book is really, if you are an analytical type person that you want research, you want facts, and you want step-by-step guidance and evidence to support the non-historical Jesus, you're going to get this in the book. And I can promise you, you have never heard what I teach in this book anywhere else before. If you come to this channel, you will know that I teach a lot of things that are new and really revelatory for you. Okay, and they make sense. So this book is not going to be any different. Okay, so you can go to www.crackingthechristcode.com, and you can see that scrolling down on the bottom of the screen, and you have a couple of choices. So you can get the PDF version of my book. And with that, I also give you some other bonuses and stuff, and you can look that up when you go to that Cracking the Christ Code. But it's also available on Amazon, on Kindle version, and in paperback, so you can get it that way. And pretty soon, I'm going to have the audio version of it. So I'm working on that now to get the audio version done. Okay, so you'll be able to get that done. But at any rate, so I wanted to talk today about a question that somebody asked me, and I want to just throw this up on the screen here right quick. And this is somebody that asked me a question, and I get asked this question often. Okay, so when I say that Jesus doesn't exist, and then people will go, well, so what about people who died? And this is what this guy says. He says, what about people who died and claim they saw God, and how can we say it does not exist if we've never been there? Okay. So in other words, how when he says God, and I knew this guy was a Christian because he doesn't even consider the idea that I don't think of Jesus as God, but because I was Christian, I know where his question is coming from. So he's really asking, how come somebody claimed that they saw Jesus? And that's one of the first things I asked him afterwards. I said, do you mean Jesus? You know, because God and Jesus, as Christians, we were taught God and Jesus are the same, you know, that they are interchangeable, basically, on some level. He's the Son of God, but God and Jesus is the same on some level. Okay. So that's where he came to me with that question. So let's talk about that today. And let's talk about when people die or have near-death experiences. That's what we're really talking about here. When they have near-death experiences and they are saying that they saw Jesus, what's really happening there? Okay. Now, I wrote an answer to him. So I want to just give y'all or start with how I addressed him. Okay, with this answer. All right. So this is what I basically said to him. It says, I get this question often, and I know through my studies of metaphysics and the knowledge that I have that people do have some type of experience. So I am not dismissing the experience that they had. I'm not dismissing it. Okay. But the reason they will say they saw Jesus has a very logical, plausible, and rational explanation. Many religious people describe seeing Jesus or God during a near-death experience, or NDEs as they're called. However, they are simply interpreting profound spiritual experiences within the framework of their existing beliefs. Okay, so I give an analogy. So in other words, you're taught as Christians to think of your spiritual experience always in the context of Christianity, in the sense that you cannot have an experience that's not connected to Christianity, or it is only because of Christianity and your belief that you do have this experience. First of all, that's a lie. That's not true. So we all have these experiences. They're natural to us. So, but I give an analogy to explain why people will say that they experience Jesus. Okay. And pay attention, because it's really going to make sense. All right. So consider this analogy. If a tribal person saw an airplane for the first time, they would likely describe it to their peers as an iron bird, the closest concept to their vocabulary. In other words, they're not going to say airplane because they lack the word airplane in their vocabulary. They don't even have it as a concept. So they can only express the experience in familiar terms. So in other words, you see an airplane and you've never saw it before, it's flying. So you're going to automatically say, oh man, that flies like a bird. So that's what you're going to connect it to. So you might call it an iron bird. Okay. Likewise, Christians conditioned to think of Jesus as divine will characterize enlightening NDE encounters as visions of him. However, experiences beyond the physical realm transcend particular religious ideologies. NDEs reflect encounters with a universal force, not any specific deity. We can see their light or soul and feel what we might describe as love. When we connect with them, we feel something. And that love, we feel that feeling that we always characterize it as love. And a lot of people say, man, I felt the love of Jesus when I crossed over. I felt that. Okay. But they don't know that that's something that everybody, no matter what your religious background is, everybody has this experience. And you can, if you look into NDEs, you will see these descriptions all the time. Okay. From different people, different backgrounds, different religions, different spiritual systems, everything. They'll come and tell you the same things. Okay. So it's not just connected to Christianity. Those steeped in Christianity will project their expectations onto mystical events, unable to separate their faith from transcendent reality. While NDEs have a profound psychological impact, attributing them to religious figures amounts to conceptual limitations. Spiritual truth encompasses more than human theology allows. Okay, so that's how I answered him, and I basically come to him with this idea that an NDE is natural for us. It truly is, family. If your body is not you, okay, you can leave you, the entity beyond your physical body can leave this body and still experience something. Okay. Now, if you want to know what it feels like after death, I'm going to give you a simple way to know. What does it feel like in your dream life? Because at that moment, your body is asleep. Your ego consciousness is asleep. It's no longer engaged in this reality. Your eyes are closed, but you still see. Do you not? Do you not still see things, people, places in your dreams? How do you see, but your eyes are closed? Think about that, family. How do you see, but your eyes are closed? That means that there is something that is in you, inside you, that has the ability to experience and see things. Okay? So it's beyond your physical five senses at that point. It has nothing to do with your five senses, what you're experiencing then, because everything about the physical body is shut down. But the deal is that is your natural and native environment. As a soul having a human experience, that's your natural and native environment. Okay? So this is something that I want you, and I want to help people to expand from this religious box, because family, there is a world of experience beyond our physical body that we can tap into now to help us in this life, to help us through the physical, to help us connect to our higher self. Okay? So when I'm talking about and building the case for the non-historical or mythical Jesus Christ, I'm not trying to say, hey, just don't believe, don't do. That's not the point. The point is to break you out of that box so that you can experience a larger version of yourself. Okay, beyond these physical senses. All right. All right. So that's the bottom line here. So how does one tap into and develop connecting to their higher self? All right. So that's one of the things that we're talking about here. All right. So I see Carmen D. Simone is here. TL, what's up? What's up? Blue Sky, what's happening? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Says, I got my book yesterday. All right, Blue Sky. Says she's got her book yesterday. I'm so excited. I'm excited too, and I'm excited for you because I believe that this book will help people so much, because there's even still a lot of lingering guilt around people when they start to break away from Christianity because they think that they're leaving Jesus. Okay. And understand, family, it is normal that a lot of people feel that way because you've had your whole psyche wrapped around this idea that you have a relationship with God through Jesus. Okay. And a lot of people say that they actually feel guilty. They feel sad, like they've lost a friend when they leave Jesus. Okay. Or when they leave Christianity. But you don't have to feel that way. Okay. So in this book, I'm helping you connect back to these ideas, connect back to the ancient ideals that really help you turn inward and connect to that version of yourself beyond your physical self. Not in spite of your physical self, because understand this. There is no way that you can become or reach your spiritual self without first going through your physical self. That's just part of the game that we're here with. And a lot of people want to malign the body. They want to malign the ego. They want to talk all this negative stuff. Family, if you are setting negativity up against your physical body, you're in a losing battle because you won't beat yourself. Okay? And all these systems that teach you that something is wrong with being physical, no, that is part of your God self. That is part of what God uses, the God of you uses to experience other things. So it's not something negative, and you shouldn't look at it that way. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you what to believe and how to believe, family. I'm just giving some suggestions that I know work. Okay. That I know that they work for people. Too many people that I know that they work for. All right. So, yes. So, Melanin Goddess, hello. Kimzer, hello. What's happening? Mighty Girl 123, what's happening? What's happening? All right. Good to see y'all here. Chief Scorpion, I see you. I see you. All right. Natalie Duverna, hello. Brandy Wood, hello. Let's see. And Brandy Wood says, do I need to do shadow work? Understand that shadow work is a name, is a coined phrase, and I get it. But if you are going to develop, if you are going to grow, yes, you have to do what people call shadow work. Okay? In other words, you have to look into the recesses of your mind and your experience and figure out sometimes why you do what you do. Okay. And let me give a prime example of what I mean by this. Okay. Because a lot of people, I hear, and I hear this from women a lot. Okay. And women and sisters, I want to help y'all. Okay. So I want to help you reframe this idea. Because a lot of times women will say, why do I meet bums? Why do I meet these men that are, cheaters and, blah, blah, blah. Okay. A big part of the reason is because you are focused on that. Even if you say, I don't want a cheater, I don't want somebody who's a bum, the universe doesn't hear don't. All it knows is what your mind is focused on, and it's going to reflect that back to you. Okay. So even if you're not a cheater, you're not a bum, if you're focused on what you don't want, that's what the universe is going to reflect back, because it doesn't hear one. All the universe is going to give you is what you're more focused on. Okay. So why are you focused on the negativity? Have you been hurt? Sure, we all have. We've all dealt with that. Are you feeling like a victim? Okay. So consider these ideas. So yes, shadow work is part of the deal. It's part of the journey. But a lot of times that can be scary for people. Okay. Let's see. I wasn't one of those. See, it was that Natalie says, I wasn't one of those people. There was no common sense in Christianity. No, I hear you. I hear you. So that's what we have to do. So you want tweets? Yes. I'm not following that. Not following that. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so that's so family. That's it. But so let's go back to the NDEs. So this is what a lot of people don't grasp. Everything that you are learning and everything that you are experiencing while you are alive, there is a time that when you do leave the body, that you still filter your experience through the things and the experiences that you've had in the physical. All right. If you've been taught a certain frame to think, okay, in the physical, a certain way to think, which is what Christianity is, because you got to think. Christianity tells you how to think about the world, who the people you should hang out with and who you shouldn't, who the people you should marry, who the people you should date. In other words, they set these parameters of not being equally yoked, not this, not that, and basically it comes down to being Christian. I don't know how many women I've dealt with personally that are Christian. Man, we could be vibing, talking, having good conversation. And I tell them, hey, the conversation eventually comes around to Christian or to religion. And I say, I don't believe in Jesus. They'd be like, oh, you don't believe in Jesus? No. Man, conversation, everything stops. I'm in the Bible Belt, y'all, in the Dallas area. So man, it's 95% of the women here are Christian. All right. So man, so that makes dating kind of hard a lot of times. All right. But the thought never comes back to, if unless I'm the first person that you've ever considered a relationship with, every other man that you dealt with has probably been said that they're Christian. But yet the relationship didn't work out because you're single, obviously, or you wouldn't be talking to me. So the relationship didn't work out. So they think that just if a person just says, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, everything is supposed to be okay. But through experience, you know that that's not true. My point being is that Christianity frames your experience of life. It dictates your experience of life. Okay? So when you leave the physical body, those people that have the NDEs, especially even if they weren't Christian, but they've been immersed in a Christian society, like here in the United States, we got Christian stuff all the time. It's just the default position for everything. Okay, whether it's holidays, Sundays, Christianity is the default. Okay, for experience in this country. So most people are immersed in Christianity. I know people who are atheists that will argue me down that Jesus exists because they were Christian before. They were immersed in Christianity. They never considered the idea that Jesus never existed. I was atheist at one point. I was one of those people. I never considered the idea that Jesus never existed. It just didn't seem, it just seemed self-evident from everything that I had learned that Jesus existed. Therefore, even if I was an atheist and at that point I had died, I probably, if I met something or some entity outside of my physical experience, I would have connected Jesus to that as well, just by the way that I had been immersed and taught. Y'all following me, family? So it's not. So I don't dismiss that they had an experience, but this is something else that family that you have to consider. There are other beings outside of Earth. There are other beings outside of physicality. There are other beings of light that are souls that exist beyond what we know as life here on Earth. But if you've been a Christian, you can't even consider that. You're not supposed to. Christians can't consider the idea that there might be alien life on other planets. Why? Because it all comes down to the frame of Jesus had to die for our sins because of the first parents, Adam and Eve on earth. Okay? That's why he died. For the sins of our first parents, which is ludicrous. Okay? But if somebody has never ever, if somebody or a being is from a different planet or a different dimension that were not a part of Adam and Eve, do they need Jesus? Do they need a savior to save them from the sins of the first parents? Because all of us born after that are supposedly born sinners. But if you weren't born from Adam and Eve, then that's not a part of your experience. So Christianity can't even consider that idea. So when we do start connecting with aliens and family, it's already happening. People are there. There's already news and stuff that aliens are already contacting or are in contact with Earth. Okay, but this is the thing. You don't have to wait till they come in a spaceship to connect. You can go within because we are all one, and you can connect to all things and everything from within you. That's what part of understanding your idea of being a Christ comes from, family, is that being a Christ is not reaching this state of, oh, you're just so enlightened. It's understanding that you are one, that you are God in human form, and that you have the ability to connect anywhere and everywhere with anything in the universe at any time. You are so powerful that there is nothing outside of you that can harm you if you don't want it. If you don't give it the power, there's nothing that can harm you. But a lot of people fear the idea of even going within their own mind, because remember, as Christians, we were taught an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So to even meditate was a problem. You couldn't sit and just be quiet. That in itself in Christianity was an issue. So the things that allowed us to be a Christ, to become more connected to our own inner self and our own inner mind, it was frowned upon in Christianity. So again, somebody that would die, if all your life you have been immersed in some aspect of some form of Christianity, if you see and meet a being of light as you cross over, and you have no other frame in which to frame the experience, what are you going to call it? You are naturally going to, especially if you're trying to explain it to somebody else outside of you. Even if you don't call it Jesus, if you explain it to somebody outside of you, they only know that frame as well. So in order for you to communicate the idea to the other person, you have to put it in a frame that they understand too. So two people who have experienced Christianity, what are they going to call the experience? Jesus, because that's all they know. So again, I'm not dismissing the experience. I'm just saying that you have no other way to communicate the idea except through your religious beliefs or the beliefs that you have been immersed in, be they Christian or not. I heard somebody else say that, yeah, well, I've heard Muslims say that they died and they experienced Jesus too. Well, if they're from the United States, I can understand why. Because it's all connected. Okay. So for sure. So thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. Let's see. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon. So family, if y'all would send Boss Lady 76 some positive energy, some positive healing energy. All right. Send that gold light. Picture her in your mind. Even if you don't know what she looks like, just picture her energy and send her some positive energy, family. Do that for her. Some positive healing energy. And it works. Okay. All right. That's beyond prayer. Pray for the child. Pray for me. Okay. I'm tripping. All right. So yeah. So yes, family. So that's it. So again, it's not that the person does not experience something. I am not and will not ever dismiss somebody else's spiritual inner experience. Okay? Because it can be very unique. A person can have gifts that I don't have and have the ability to connect to beings or other levels and dimensions of experience that I can't because I don't have their gift. It's kind of like you can have two athletes. Let's say Simone Biles and Usain Bolt. Okay, two of the greatest athletes in their fields in history. Okay, Usain Bolt couldn't do a backflip probably to save his life, or do a balance beam to save his life. Simone Biles probably can't run 100 meters in under 9 seconds. Okay, or 10 seconds. All right. But they're both gifted in their own area and unique in that way. You can have the way your chemistry and your body and your brain connects to your inner world can be just as unique as those two different athletes. So your inner experience and the things that you can experience inwardly can be different from me and anybody else. But most people will say, hey man, have you ever experienced something like this? And people can say, no, man, that's crazy. It's oh, okay. And they just immediately dismiss their experience because they feel like they need to fit in somewhere, that they need to fit into somebody else's ideas. But family, that's not the case. We got to get out of this mode of that we need to conform to some ideal in order to be okay. Sometimes you just might be a gifted MF that can do some things that other people can't. Okay? There are people that are gifted that they can speak 5 or 6 different languages. Yeah, I struggle with English. Okay? But that person is gifted because they can formulate these ideas in different languages. Okay? That's a hell of a skill and a gift. Okay? It's deep. It's deep. All right. LIT living in truth. Hello. What's up, prophetess? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Yes, spiritual. She was spreading that positive energy. Spreading that positive energy to boss lady. All right. That's good. Love it. All right, family. Okay. So, family, if you got questions, let's talk. I can invite. So if you guys want to come in and just chat with me, you can ask the questions a little faster. Greg Scott, thank you very much, brother. I definitely appreciate you. So Greg Scott gave in chat, and y'all can do that. Y'all can give if I say something that is of value to you in some way. Then yes, you can give, and I appreciate it. So thank you, Greg Scott. Says, Bro Reg, you cooking that spiritual up early. See, shut the front door. Power, peace, and prosperity. Greg A. Braden. All right, brother, I appreciate you. Says, hallelujah. All right, brother. Definitely appreciate you. All right. So yeah, the other thing is if the chat is going pretty fast, guys, I can't always see everything in the chat. So if you give here, like Greg asked your question right here, then I can see the question for sure. So I'm definitely going to see that one. All right. So for sure. So yeah, oh, definitely, Empress. I agree with you. So everybody has undiscovered gifts, but a lot of times, if you are looking at yourself as something that is unworthy, negative in some way, then you won't appreciate your gifts. And a lot of times, that's what happens with us, you know. And I can say, for me, for a long time, Empress, I used to believe that I was cursed, okay, in a sense. Because I could always see other people's gifts, but I could never see what I was gifted at. Okay. And when I started doing what I'm doing now, that's when I saw that I thought in different ways and I can access this information in different ways that other people don't. You know? And I realized my gift, and it really came out of one of the worst experiences of my life. You know, I lost everything I had. I was in a one-room hotel, just basically one unemployment check from homelessness. Okay. But during that time, I was able to study. I was able to study metaphysics. I was able to study a lot of stuff for 16 to 18 hours a day. I was having fun. That's why I was studying so long, is because it was just fun and fascinating. Okay. But that's where I recognized my gift later on down the line, that I could see this information and I could connect dots that other people hadn't before. Okay. That's one of the things that I do in this book. I'm going to help you connect dots, and I'm going to help you connect to connect to your own inner gifts. Okay. Because you're going to start to see things in a way that are symbolically, metaphorically, metaphysically. You're going to start to see things in a different way and look at them in a different light when you get through that book. Okay. And it helps you become more wise. It helps you connect to your dream language, all that, because all the same mechanisms work, you know, the esoteric language that you can decode the Bible with. All of that works the same. Okay. Same functions. All right. So thank you. All right. Love the book, reading it now. All right, Rockwell Media, thank you very much. Says he loves it and he's reading it now. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So, I'm assuming, brother. That's what I am. I'm assuming. Okay. So yeah. So thank you very much. Says he's reading it right now. So yeah. But yeah. So that's man. It's this stuff is so fascinating once you get out of that box that people want to make you fit in. Family, you have to be able to trust and love who you are on every level. Okay. And I talk about 3D, 4D, and 5D levels of consciousness. Okay. So 3D is definitely it's about separation, lack, you feeling unworthy, you don't like yourself, all of that stuff is 3D level consciousness. Okay. You're going to attract from a 3D level of consciousness and experience, you're going to attract a certain type of energy to yourself. That energy is going to attract experience based on your beliefs. And the experience is what you're going to see have reflected back to you as life. Okay. Your beliefs, your energy, your vibration is what you're going to have reflected back to you. And if you are constantly focused on negative things, that's the stuff that's your beliefs are always going to be reflected back in a way that can confirm whatever it is that you believe. Okay. That's 3D level. 4D level is recognizing that the universe is a friendly place. Now think about it. From our Christian beliefs, we're always talking about the world this is a terrible, terrible world. Terrible, as Charles Barker says, terrible. It's terrible. Okay. It's a terrible world, and that we always looking at things as either they're the enemy or they're not. This black and white thinking. So you're in fear because something is always lurking about to happen to you, negative. Okay, but family, the universe is going to confirm what you believe. The universe is friendly to those who see the universe as their own, like genie, really, in a way. All you got to do is just ask the right way. You got to have the right environment that you plant those seeds in, because that's what asking is. It's planting seeds. Okay. So that's what the universe is about. So that's 4D consciousness. When you begin to understand that the universe is a friendly place when it comes to you and what you believe and what you want to experience. Okay, that's 4D. 5D is when you have unconditional love for who you are. You understand that you are the I am. That I am whatever it is that I want to experience. I am that. I am that. I am. Nuke, pook, nuke. That's how the ancient Egyptians used to say it. Nuke, pook, nuke. I am that I am. Okay. When you understand that you are not separate from anything and anybody, and that whatever it is that you want to experience, it is about who you are, not what you want. You don't get what you want in life. You get who you are. And who you are, you get as a vibrational level, from a vibrational level and a level of consciousness. Okay. If you stay in 3D consciousness, you're always separate. All you see is racism, sexism, all the isms. You're staying in separation, that you're staying in 3D level when you're constantly fighting that fight. Okay. Now, some people, that's where they want to stay. They feel more comfortable there. And I get it. So no judgment, from a person who wants to stay at that level, because that's your experience and you are welcome to it. Okay. But if that's not something that you want to experience, you have to rise to another level of consciousness and you have to think a different way. You can only think a different way when you change your level of consciousness that you're operating from. You cannot change something negative from the same level of consciousness that created the negativity. You cannot change it. You cannot think the same way, do the same things that you did yesterday, and expect different results. That's insanity. Okay. So in order to change, you have to change. All right, family. So yeah. Let's see. John Ford, what's happening, my brother? What's happening? What's happening? Why you Christians never ask why Jesus never mentioned Adam or Eve in the Bible? You know, I mean, never said that is in the Bible. Never said that himself. But that gets into a whole nother thing there. Okay. Let's see. Yep. No, it won't make sense. JPR Fallen says, as a 5-year-old going to Sunday school, Jesus died for my sins wasn't making sense to me. Okay. And that's because all these ideas that Christianity taught was they twisted ancient ideas. I get into that stuff in the book and I teach you how to break down what the cross meant before Christianity, because these ideas have different levels, family. The cross itself, it doesn't have just one static meaning of somebody hanging on the cross. No, it's actually a metaphysical meaning. It's actually numerological. It's actually astrological. Those are all different levels that you access this knowledge and information from. But over thousands of years, Egypt built on top of this knowledge. The ancient Kemetians built this knowledge up to where the symbols have multi-dimensional meanings. Okay, I teach you how to access those ideas from a multi-dimensional perspective. You've never had it done the way I put it in this book. Never. I promise you. I looked for it when I was first starting this stuff out. Okay, when I first started studying Kemetic spirituality and the Egyptian netters, I never could find anybody. They would talk about the things, they would point at things, but they never could tell you how it worked. Family, I'm breaking it down. I'm breaking it down like you ain't never. I break it down so it forever and consistently be Baroque. So yeah. All right, all right. Let's see. Questions. So Chris J. Broadnex Jr. says, how can someone who works with Christian co-workers bridge the gap with their Christian doctrine utterances that suspect spirituality? Some things they be saying makes me shake my head. Yeah, and Chris, this is what I'll say. Because a lot of times we do want to save other people and we want to convince them to think a different way. But I'm going to tell you, if you're doing it that way, you're going to have headaches because you can't convince somebody who wants to believe something. You can't convince them to think another way. So in reality, this information and knowledge is really not about them. Okay. I hear a lot of people say, well, yeah, well, somebody else needs to do this. Somebody else needs to. As soon as they say that, I said, you're probably the one who needs it the most. You can't even see. You're blind to your own weaknesses, or you're blind to your own experience that you might need to change. All they're doing is mirroring something for you. Okay. So I would say for me, I don't try to convince other people. I don't try to argue with other people because, and believe me, I did that in the beginning. I did. But after a while, you just saw it was useless time. It was a waste of time. So from my experience, I would say, don't try to convince them. This knowledge is about helping you to develop the world that you want to develop. If you want to become a master manifester, learn this knowledge. If you want to manifest things in your life, learn this knowledge, because that's what it was trying to teach. It was trying to teach you, one, don't be fearful. That was the main thing, one of the main things that the ancients were trying to teach. Don't be fearful. When you see monsters and all of that stuff that they're doing, the monsters just simply represented fears. That was one way that they represented, because these big fears would like hold us captive. Okay? So learn this knowledge and information for you. That's who it's for. It's not for you to try to change other people. Now, for me, I have a gift of teaching, and I said, hey, other people will want to know this, but I don't go argue and debate with people about this. I ain't trying to. Okay. I want to connect with the people that are like you here in this group right now, that we're all on the same page and the same vibration, and we're all moving in the same direction where we want to go higher. Because arguing, all that does is just splits the energy because you're in opposition to each other. I don't want to deal with people who are in opposition. I want to deal with the people who we can come together in unity and we can expand this energy exponentially. Okay. That's how I see it. Now, another person that wants and likes debating, if that lights them up, debate. Do your thing. But for me, that just doesn't work. It's a pain in the ass, really. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right, family. I was just looking. I'm looking to see if there anybody else had any questions. But thank you, Chris. That was a good question. Good question, because I know a lot of people have that same question. They had that same question. Yeah, and Empress, that's Empress says exactly, brother says, I'm struggling with doubt, and I know that hinders my manifestations, but I'm working on it. Yeah, and Empress, that's just part of the journey. You know, I know what I know, but there are still times within my journey that I still struggle too. You know, so I'm not above the fray in that sense, because when you're in it, it's different than looking at it from an objective somebody else's things, because you can see what's happening with everybody else, and you go like, yeah, I know what's happening with you. You know, you're doing this, but man, let that stuff hit you. it's like boom. Like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan until they get hit. Man, you have the best plan in the world, and then you get hit with something that just shakes you up. All of a sudden, your plan is like discombobulated. You know, so I get it. I get it. So you're not. That's not unusual at all. And this is the thing. It's like, from the Christian perspective, this is what the temptation of Christ meant. Okay, symbolically, Christ was out in the wilderness. The wilderness just means somewhere where you're like, damn, I don't know where I am. You know, I don't know how to navigate here. Okay, and then Satan becomes the opposition. As a Christ, you've reached a certain level and you have this knowledge, you know it. Okay. But when reality hits you, or when life hits you, all of a sudden you're tempted to go back and start reacting the same way you used to, even though you know better. Okay. That's one thing, that's one way that you can look at the idea of the temptation of Christ. It was just a symbolic or archetypal story telling you about how sometimes, man, you go back to thinking your old ways when you reach a certain level. Okay. Or you're tempted to go back and do the same things that you used to do. That's the temptation. All right, family. So the simples from what I just said, I know that is a very simplistic story. But understand, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, nobody had ever thought to put things in an archetypal context like that. So even though today we look at that as very simple, but back then that was revolutionary. So these stories that of like the miracles of Jesus, and again, I break these down in the book, but they're just very simple stories about an archetypal experience that we all have, that we all go through. All right. So yes, so I feel you, Empress. I feel you on that. So I know that that's real. I know that that's real. That we all go through that. Yes, we are gods. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So for real, for real. Let's see. Let's see. LIT, let's see. Prophetess Key True says the true esoteric of the biblical text really is yelling to all to come out of religion and know thyself. Christ told his principle, don't rejoice in saying my name, rejoice that your name is I. Okay. Yes, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. So all this stuff, and what I use the Bible, I don't hold the Bible up as any book of any special esteem than any other book, because family, we have many self-help books today that can be just as useful as the Bible was to people back then, because that's the only thing that they had. But now we got so many self-help books and stuff like that. Family, those books are just as more valuable than the Bible. The way that we were taught it, the Bible is pretty much useless, except to control your thinking and to box in your mind. Okay. But when you understand it esoterically, you can take the cover off the exoteric or the stuff that we've been taught to believe. All right. But there are many books. I saw somebody ask something in social media today. What's the best book you ever read? And I already knew there was people who are going to say the Bible. The Bible. The Christians they want to conform and they want to be looked at in this way. They just, if the Bible is the best book you read, damn, you in bad shape. For real. If that's the best book that you read, or the only book that you read, your ass is in bad shape. Mentally. I can guarantee you. Woo, man. Let's see. Opinionated asshole. What's up? I love that name. Oh, I love that name. That's cool. I love some of y'all can get really creative with the names. I love it. I love it. Kia, what's going on, sister? What's going on? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. All right. All right. Let's see. Why are there still churches if there's so much good information out there? Kinsman, I don't understand the question, because there's going to be churches as long as there's going to be people who want to believe. So that's the way I see that. Let's see. Chris Brown says, so follow up. So I'm definitely not trying to convince them. What I would like to do is share something with them that's so thought provoking it will put them on mute for a moment. Brother, get my book. I'm telling you. Get my book. Go to the Crack in the Christ Code. I'm telling you. You want to do that? You can break down this esoteric knowledge and information. You can check them with the esoteric knowledge and information. Just get my book, man. Come on now. Oh, you will change their life. All right. Says, let's see. Prophet says, yes, it controls our thinking, and thank you for overthrowing Babylon religion, brother resident. Hey, you bet. And honestly, Prophet, that's not my. I'm not trying to overthrow religion, because some people need it. Some people need the box. They can only operate because they are in the box. Some people need it. You know, that's another reason why there's going to be churches, because understand that when you get into a certain mode of thinking to where you are free to be, for a lot of people, that's scary as hell, because you don't know how to operate. There are people, just think about, there are people that are better being employees than there are being entrepreneurs, because as an employee, and I'm not knocking employees, I was that for a long time. But for employees, a lot of times you're told when you need to get up, you get the alarm clock, because if you're late, you can get fired. You're told when you can go to work. You're told when you can go to the bathroom. You're told all these things are structured for you. Some people want and need that structure. Then there are other people who just want to be free to be who they are. Okay, so trying to overthrow religion, that's not my game, you know. But I'm just trying to give the people who want to expand, give them a platform in which they can do that. Okay, and that's why I don't argue with the people who want to stay in the box. You want to stay in the box, stay there. I'm happy for you. You know, if that's your easy button, push that easy button and keep it moving for real. So absolutely. So yeah. But thank you, prophetess. I appreciate that. For real. So let's see. All right. Yeah, and again, I break that down. See, Theologic Smith, the Book of Revelation is talking about Rome. Okay, they're talking about the Pope. The Book of Revelations was not written by a Christian. Christians think that it is talking about people that are not Christian, But if you think about how this information and knowledge, who the Christ was back in that day, okay? Because the understand that the Catholic Church changed the idea of Christ from something that the ancients had taught for thousands of years as an inner journey, as an inward journey. Okay? The Catholic Church changed it and corporealized the idea of Christ as Jesus Christ. They made in 325 CE, they made this idea that Jesus was God and man. Okay? They said Jesus walked the earth. Nobody had ever said that before the Council of Nicaea. Okay, well, they started talking about it before then, of course, that developed over time. But before then, it was not codified. It was not something that was mandated that Jesus had to be a person that walked the earth. No, most people back then thought the idea of Jesus dying for 3 days and rising was an absolute absurdity. Just like we do. We know that a man can't die for 3 days and then all of a sudden come back to life. If he do, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna blame that on y'all. Y'all making me act crazy. But anyway, so but anyway, so understand from that perspective, if Christ was seen as an inner journey and experience, that was the norm. What would be the Antichrist? If we knew Christ was an inner journey and an inner experience, what would be the Antichrist? The opposite. Think about it, family. Think about it. Okay. So yes. Let's see. Yeah, opinionated asshole. I can see, where we can symbolically look at a lot of these things that way, but the Bible was written, almost 2,000 years ago. So they were talking about something 2,000 years ago. We cannot continue to think that we can fit whatever is in the Bible like it's telling the future, or every answer that you can get is in the Bible. It just doesn't work that way. There is no book that we can think of outside of the Bible that somebody feels like every answer about the world, even today, can be answered from some scripture in the Bible. There's no other book that carries a weight like that, So it's ludicrous, So I can understand how you can look at that symbolically that way. Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, Jesus would be the Antichrist, the way that the ancients would look at it. Okay. And if you, again, I broke it down in the book. Okay. The Whore of Babylon, all of that Revelation stuff, I broke that down in the book because I want you to be able to answer these questions, is what I was trying to help you do with that book. So I broke it down esoterically for you. First, I build your esoteric knowledge up. I teach you step by step how to start to looking at the knowledge esoterically. I build that up for you. And then later on, I start to giving you these ideas in the Bible and helping you to break them down esoterically. And Revelations, just that idea of the Antichrist and all of that, I help you to break that down. Okay. So what is the name of the book? Hold on. The name of the book is Cracking the Christ Code, but you can go to crackingthechristcode.com. So it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. You can go there and you can access it. You can get it in a PDF form, or you can get it and you can also through that web address, you can also go and access the Amazon, and you can get it in EPUB or paperback. And I'm also doing I'm also doing the what do you call it? The audio version. So I'm also doing the audio version of it. And that'll be, so it probably might be another week or two before I get the audio version done, because I literally have to read every single word of the book. And man, I think that I have the book edited right, and then all of a sudden I see something, I'm like, damn. But I'm going to update all that stuff. So make sure the editing is tight. But it's still overall it's still good. But the audio version will be out pretty soon. But you can go to crackingthechristcode.com. Let's see here. I can. Oh, I don't have that up here. Well, let me see if I can get that. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, here we go. All right, but that's where you can get the book. Here, I'll put that up right there. So get your copy at crackingthechristcode.com. And again, you can get the PDF version. You can get the and you can go through the same site here, and you can get to the Amazon. So you don't have to go and try to look it up all on Amazon. You can just go to crackingthechristcode.com and share with people. Share with people who are that you know that want and are looking for this information. Family is going to change the world. So share it with them and do that. So awesome stuff. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah. So we'll knock that off. All right, family. All right, Conrad, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. I see you here. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I see my so Conrad's here, and Rockdale Media is here. So Greg Scott. So all the people here that are supportive of me, that support the channel, I definitely appreciate you, family. So thank y'all for being here. And thank y'all for the support. Most definitely. All right. Sam Carter says, I'm going to hell. Oh, I'm going to hell. Oh. Christians think that like scares you, because hell scares the hell out of them, and they think just that statement is like going to put fear in your heart. Sam Carter, I don't fucking believe in hell, man. So, it doesn't exist. So I can't go there. It doesn't. You can threaten me with that. Why the hell are you even here? Oh boy. Let's see. No, it's a fact, and he want to argue with me. How do you know? You've been there? Family, you know what's so crazy is that I had this brother come to me one time, and he was talking about his experience of coming out of Christianity. This brother said that he was so afraid of hell that he was hoping that he could go ahead and take his punishment while he was here on earth. Okay, this is how warped this thinking is. Okay, that he was hoping that he could get his punishment while he was here, or get through it. Okay, to say, God, let me go ahead. I already know I'm going to go to hell, so let me go ahead and get this over with. You know that this brother set himself on fire. He doused himself with gasoline and set himself on fire so he could burn, so he could absolve himself of his own sins. He said that he was living with third-degree burns over like 60 to 70% of his body. Family, come on. That's the kind of stuff that we want to live with. Sam, that's what you want to wish on me? You want to wish that I burn? Think about that type of thinking and mentality, that you just need me to go to hell to make you feel better. That's some sick shit. You need me to go to hell so you can feel better. That's crazy as hell. So, but that's how religion twists your mind. God is supposed to be a loving God. Why in the hell would God send me to hell if he loves me? Family, I have 2 children that I love dearly. They can piss me off. But there is nothing that they could do that I would want to send them to hell for eternity. That there is no absolution, that there's no way that they could return from that punishment. There is nothing that they can do that I would wish that on them. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So you're going to tell me that God is a know-it-all that knows everything, but he doesn't know I'm going to sin? You can tell me that I can be more benevolent than the most powerful entity in the universe, that there is no way in hell that I could send another person to hell? I'm more benevolent than him? Something's wrong with that, family. Something's wrong with that type of thinking. But as Christians, we see the justification of another person that does not believe as I do. They are not worthy to exist on this planet. Family, I get death threats. And you know, I get more death threats of saying that hell doesn't exist than me saying Jesus doesn't exist. Think about that. I've had more people threaten me and literally give me death threats, like they're going to come get me, because I said hell doesn't exist. Not when I say Jesus doesn't exist. People like Sam. So, damn. Shit's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Sam, I'm tired of you. Shit. Get the fuck out of here. Banned. Gone. Bye. Let's see. That's all it is, sister. That's all it is, Sister Gemini. They want us to be fearful. I don't fear death. When it's my time to go, it's my time to go. You know? So, but dude, whatever. Let's see here. And he gonna bring up if he molested my mama. Yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I won't turn the other cheek. So you can best believe that. Whew, man. But anyway. Oh man. Yep, they need hell for the power trip they're on. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yep, I can agree. Religion is the worst virus released to humanity, and that's exactly what it is. It is literally a virus of the mind. That's what religion does. It puts these ideas and thoughts in your mind that really are anti-human. They are anti-humanity. It is negative programming at its finest. And I'll say again, if that works for you in your life and it improves and empowers you in your life, keep doing that shit. Keep doing it. But for all of us that have tried to live that life and have come out of it, there is no way we can go back to it. None. Ever. It's sickness. It is sickness. So, but anyway. All right, family. Well, it is about that time, and I appreciate everybody that has been here. So again, you can go and you can get my book at crackingthechristcode.com. So again, it be very helpful for anybody that is really wanting to understand in a way to how to get beyond these religious frames. And the biggest religious frame that we have is the belief in Jesus as a historical person. It was never supposed to be that. Jesus and Christ were two separate concepts that were about us, each and every one of us. They were archetypal ideas about us and us as souls traveling in this world as human beings. Okay. So, what I take away in anybody's belief, I'm going to give you back the ancient ideas and the ancient way that you can use this and apply this in your life. Okay. All right, family. All right, family. Hey, well, y'all have an amazing evening. And thank you again, everybody, for being here. And I will see y'all next time. Okay. All right, family. Y'all have a good night.